What is up, everybody? This is your man, Big B, along with Big G, and welcome to the big show. I appreciate everybody being out here today, man. Chat, what is going on? Y'all see I got my hat. I'm in full Pittsburgh Steeler football mode already. I am in football mode. We're going to have a good show today, man. We got a lot of topics to get to. Let's talk about them. First things first. We're going to introduce and talk about Shedeur Sanders. We're going to talk about that now. Again, I know he's not a Pittsburgh Steeler. We're going to get through it and talk about his slide in the draft. We're also going to talk about the Steelers just signed Robert Woods today. I think that's bigger than maybe what a lot of people think. We're going to talk about that. Robert Woods, I think, is a big deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then last but not least, we're going to do a full breakdown of all the Steelers picks and also of the undrafted free agents. We're going to do a full breakdown. Big G's going to grade the grades that I gave him. So it should be a fun show, man. I'm ready. I'm psyched. It's time to start talking some football, Big G. It's time to start talking football, man. First off, Big G, how you doing, man?
Man, you see I already got my sign on. We both got the big hats on. Y'all better buckle up tonight. Because it's time to go. It's time to talk Steelers football. I'm ready. Listen, I wish camp started today. Yeah. I wish it started today. Let's go. It's time to talk Steelers football. We're going to talk about the draft and all the other shenanigans, but it's time to get to it, B. Let's do what we do, bro. Let's go. They need to buckle up.
First off, chat, man, again, I know I always say it, but I feel like I need to continue to say I appreciate all the love and support that you guys show, not only this channel, but specifically this show. So we don't always agree, but that don't matter, man. We always have a whole lot of fun. So I appreciate y'all being in here. Thank you guys a ton for what you do. Again, if you want to help support the channel, you know how to do that. Super chats, are wide open to get your question, comment, rant. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. We want to try to get as many people in the chat as possible. We want to get as many people in here as possible today. So help us out. Continue to hit that button like you always do. Look, our man Puns already said Big G's drinking that Thunderbird. They're on you today, Big G. They are on you today. They said Big G sponsored by Thunderbird. They must know something, Big G. Did I miss something? Have you been hitting that Thunderbird and we don't know about it?
No, man. I'm just excited. I just got adrenaline rush and excitement, man, because we can finally get to football for the Steelers, man. And Pun, you the main one that shouldn't be calling nobody no alcoholic. You the main one that shouldn't be calling nobody no alcoholic, because I know you, Pun. I know what you do. So don't play. Don't start none. Won't be none tonight.
Didn't he say that he was mixing wasn't it Cuervo with Old E or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
The biggest alcoholic.
Mike Tomlin sweating. Remember at the owners' meetings a couple of weeks back? It was Big Pun snuck into the owners' meeting and had Tomlin sweating. Lord have mercy, man. But let's get to it, man. I appreciate everybody being in here. Look, he is not a Pittsburgh Steeler, so we're going to get through it. There was a lot of us that wanted the Steelers to take Shedeur Sanders. They didn't do it. But the slide of Shedeur Sanders, or should I say the fall of him, dropping all the way to the 5th round, I mean, first off, he lost, it's estimated $30 million. That is of guaranteed money, Big G. That's a ton of money. I don't know, man. I mean, he would have made more money if he'd have went back to college for another year. He'd have made more money in NIL by doing that. Yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly. Tell me first off, what are your first thoughts about it?
So I've heard different theories or different thoughts. I've heard people say they call it collusion. I heard people feel that they had a grudge against Deion Sanders. But the bottom line is that Shedeur Sanders was walking around like he had full first-round talent and might not have been full first-round talent. Listen, as far as today's NFL is concerned, he had outstanding numbers at Colorado, Big 12 school. They might not play the best or the toughest defenses down there. So he had outstanding numbers. But in all fairness, Shedeur, you did some things to yourself, and you should be accountable for not working out at the NFL Combine, for having horrible interviews and different things like that, and continuing to carry yourself in a manner that pushed your draft stock down to the basement. That's just my early thoughts right away, B.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got mixed thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think some of it, I think it's about 50-50. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what you said. He acted like he was God's gift to the quarterback room,
Mm-hmm.
and Dion is part of it too, acting
Facts.
like they had the same leverage that, when Eli Manning did the same thing or John Elway did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys were the unquestioned number one picks in the draft. There was
Facts.
no issue. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. They were going number one. They were the
Mm-hmm.
best prospects that year.
Mm-hmm.
Shedeur Sanders wasn't that, because even if you eliminate quarterback and you just say, okay, it's not quarterback, he wasn't the top prospect in this draft. A lot of people had him. Some people had him in the mid-20s. Some people had him in early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't walk around like you're God's gift to football if that's the case. I understand a lot of people think it's confidence, and I don't disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence is part of it. But you know what? You got to know when to use your leverage and not to. And especially when you don't have the leverage. Had he been the unquestioned, like he walked around like he was his father.
Facts.
And Dion had the leverage. Dion
Mm-hmm.
could pull off what he pulled off. Shedeur couldn't do that.
Right.
And it cost him. Teams got put off. I don't necessarily agree with it,
Mm-hmm.
but hey, I say this all the time, Big G, and I see if you agree. The NFL has a way of humbling you because it's
Facts.
their league, it's their rules,
Mm-hmm.
and you are going to abide by them whether you like it or not. You
Mm-hmm.
have to abide by what they want. And when
Mhm.
you stray outside of that, sometimes they got to smack you down and say, hey, man, you're not running this. We are. And I
Mhm.
feel like that's what happened here.
I agree 100% with everything you just stated, B. And I've stated some of those same things on multiple different platforms concerning they thought they were the Elways and they thought they were the Mannings and all whatever else. But at some point, Shedeur Sanders has to read the room. At some point, he has to look like, wait a minute, I am causing more problems. I am hurting myself more than I'm helping myself. And that's the issue. The issue is Shedeur didn't read the room to see, like, wait a minute, this plan that we have to try to get to where we want to be. Because guess what? Deion Sanders was out there a while prior to on multiple different interviews and platforms saying where his son wouldn't go, where his son wouldn't play. You know where one of the teams that said where his son wouldn't go and his son wouldn't play? Cleveland, Ohio.
Right.
Shedeur Sanders, where are you at? Cleveland, Ohio. Matter of fact, you're in Cleveland, Ohio with no guaranteed money. You have to make, you literally paycheck to paycheck, and they can cut you at any time and do whatever they want to do with you concerning you because you're a fifth round draft pick. So now he has to work double and triple as hard based on the quarterback room in Cleveland just to make the team. Now, does he have the talent to do it? In my opinion, B, he's the most talented player in that quarterback room. Joe Flacco is over the hill. We know about baby hands, big trash. So you know about Dylan Gabriel. Deshaun Watson is never going to play again. So he has an opportunity to put himself in position to really do some things for the Cleveland Browns, but he's not going to get paid. So a
Right.
little bit of humble pie and humility. Shedeur, I help you swallow it well. Take it like how we used to take castor oil when we was little kids. Take this nasty ass castor oil and swallow it, and then learn what you need to learn so then that way you can put yourself in position to get a long-term contract and play in the NFL for multiple contracts, bro.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about it is, sometimes you play your hand wrong. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like poker. Sometimes you need to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be one of those situations where, they could have played it differently. But
Yeah.
when you got your dad out there saying, well, there's places that I won't allow him to play,
Mm-hmm.
man, he doesn't have that kind of talent. And,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't have that kind of talent. You should have just, if that's how you felt, I don't disagree, but you should have just let it slide and keep that to yourself. You don't
Facts.
always have to be always out in front of everything, telling everybody what you know. Again, Shedeur was not you. Okay. And I think that's where he messed up thinking, well, I did it. I did it my way. Well, he's not you. He's not as good as you. And then there's nothing wrong with that. But I think sometimes you just got to take a step back and say, okay, we got somebody saying, Cap, that dude's already rich. I'm sorry.
That's irrelevant.
Ask a rich person, are they okay giving away $30 million? Ask them that. And oh, by the way, he don't have $30 million worth of money. So again, I always wonder when people they count somebody else's money. I always wondered about that when they're in somebody else's wallet. And you ask, rich people don't want to give up a penny, not one penny. That's how they stay rich, you know? So no, him losing out on $30 million is not a good thing. Nothing about that is good. First super chat of the night from Awareness and Accountability said, love the big hats. Hey, man, today my hat came in like an hour ago. Yeah. I got it delivered an hour ago. I said, you know what? I'm bringing it on tonight. It don't even fit in the screen yet. We're going to have to crop some stuff to make it work, but I like it. I like it. So appreciate y'all, man. But yeah, that's my thing on Shedeur. He just lost out on a ton. It is what it is. And quite frankly, Big G, I'll say this. I'm tired of talking about it because you know what? He's not a Pittsburgh Steeler.
That's facts.
He is not a Pittsburgh Steeler. And so while I feel bad and while maybe I thought the Steelers could have taken him, he's not a Steeler.
Yeah.
And him going to Cleveland, you said it already. Somebody said it in the chat. Cleveland is a quarterback graveyard, man. Like, he's got the opportunity. If you want to show people up and show that you're right, then go win the job. Go beat out a 40-year-old. Go beat out baby hands. Go beat out Dylan Gabriel. I mean, I don't think he's going to have to beat out Deshaun Watson. So go beat those guys out for the job if you're really that good. But if not, then I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any of it.
Man, I'm closing the book on Shedeur. I just got this last thing I have to say to get off my chest. The bottom line is Shedeur Sanders will make fifth-round money for 5 years if he's in the NFL. When Shedeur Sanders comes back up, and if he plays well, he can earn a lot of money. But he is going to have to learn a lot of things, including this big, long word called humility. Yeah. Because in order to lead, sometimes you got to be willing to be the first one and be the bottom. The prodigal says that the rejected stone is the chief cornerstone. Yeah. So if that's the deal for him, he's going to have to get humble pie and lead. And if he leads and the team rallies around him, he's got an opportunity to get a huge contract. But like I said, he could be out of there quick, B, because they got 2 first-round draft picks next year because they fleeced Jacksonville. So they got 2. And if they're horrible and Jacksonville's not even decent, they could turn that into the number 1 pick. So Shedeur, I don't know if you listen to me, I don't know if you hear me, but young man, just get humble a little bit. Do what you need to do and go in there and work. Put in maximum effort. Maximum effort all the time. And I'm wishing the best for you. But some of this was your own causing, young man. Some of this was your own causing.
Absolutely. But that's okay. I mean, it happens, man. It happens. But sometimes you just got to live and learn. Sometimes you got to live and learn. And like you said, he's got an opportunity to be able, to win the job. It's not like it's not like he's going into a situation where it's an entrenched starter or anything like that. If you're as good as what you say you are, then at some point, go win the job. You know? And this is what, one of the quotes. I know I'm going to fit in perfectly. It's first getting in, showing the respect to the vets, showing I'm ready to work, show the coaches, have them understand I'm here, ready to work, so they can actually understand the real me. Well, the problem with that statement, I agree with it, but everything that you did leading up to that and all the stuff that you said was the exact opposite of this. Now that you've been humbled, here's where we are. I mean, I love the statement now, but that could have been you all along. We'll see what happens. Yeah. I'm rooting for them, except when they play the Steelers, obviously. Yeah. I'm rooting for them, but quite frankly, I'm ready to turn the page and move on because the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have him on the roster, and I would rather talk about that, Big G.
That is facts. Facts. Bye-bye, Shedeur. You're going 0-2 next year. I don't give a damn if you win all the rest of the other games, but you're going 0-2 next year, bro. I promise you that. 0-2 is coming, is in the window. You're going to get mopped when you play the Pittsburgh Steelers next season.
Absolutely. Let's move on, people. So, we got a super chat here from Mick 40 ounce.
Oh, Lord.
40 ounce. Said, hope Shador doesn't bite us like passing on Lamar. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think, first of all, they're not the same player. I'd hate when we talk about Lamar and anybody else. Lamar is better than every quarterback except for Patrick Mahomes. You may throw Josh Allen in there. Lamar's better than all them. Shador Sanders isn't that. And he ain't going to be that. I'm sorry. Shador Sanders not going to be at that level. That's just not going to happen. Having said all of that, again, if he can be fine, I wouldn't even put that in the same realm. We think Shador Sanders is going to be an MVP caliber quarterback?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think he could have been with the Steelers. That wasn't ever going to happen. So I think it's time to just move on.
Yeah.
So
6'1", 205. He ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
That ain't Lamar, dog. That ain't Lamar. But I'm with you, B. I'm with you, man.
No. Somebody says you don't know that, but neither do you. So neither do you. But I have my opinion, and I don't think he's going to be. So I don't think he's going to be. And matter of fact, neither did anybody else multiple times. That's the reason you get picked in the 5th round.
Facts.
It isn't because we think you're good. We don't need you. It was basically what every NFL team said over and over and over. Yeah, we might need a quarterback. But here's one thing, Big G, before we get to the next topic. You think about the teams that actually need quarterbacks. In 2023, 14 quarterbacks got taken. You know, all these teams that needed quarterbacks, it's like, or excuse me, 2023, 14. There's not a lot of teams that just needed quarterbacks. The last couple of years, teams have taken quarterbacks. So, I mean, there were 6 in the first round just last year.
Facts.
So it not only was it a weak class, there just wasn't a whole lot of need right now. There just wasn't a whole lot of need. That's
right.
all.
You're not going to mortgage. Listen, we know the formula in the NFL. Build the 53-man roster to insert the quarterback. That's the deal. You take, if you're going to take a quarterback, it's a project. We just took one, and we're going to talk about that on the show. We took a project that has a lot of high side potential, but you don't take a guy until your 53-man roster gets right. Once it gets right, then you go. So you know, us, maybe the Raiders who traded for Geno, maybe a couple other teams here or there might have looked at him, but no, absolutely not. It wasn't time, and he definitely wasn't the guy for us. So, like you said, man, we could talk for days about Shador Sanders, but I want to focus on the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro.
Correct. Absolutely. Let's move on, man. Steelers made a kind of a quiet, but not for Steeler fans, a quiet maybe around the NFL. Big signing today, Big G. Big signing today. Robert Woods signs 1 year, $2 million. I think it's a big signing personally. I really do. I like Robert Woods. I think Robert Woods is going to help them. First of all, I think he's going to make the football team.
Facts.
That's what I think. I think he's going to make the football team. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind. I guess my question to you, Big G, who's going to be out? Who's going to be out at the wide receiver position?
Man, we talked a little bit about this backstage, and I've been hearing it on the Steelers streets, man. This is very intriguing because we know, at least me and you know, B, that there was a lot of talk about GP getting traded, right? So now you go pick up Robert Woods off the street. I don't think they're moving from GP. I know it was close. I heard it was close. I don't think they're moving on from GP. But now you stack the room. So in my opinion, Robert Woods is going to start. I think the slot wide receiver position, when we're in 11 personnel, I like Calvin Austin. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but Robert Woods is a professional. Robert Woods is going to get open every single freaking time. He's done it everywhere he's played, starting with the Rams down in Houston. Robert Woods is a very good professional slot receiver. So now, like you said, we got Calvin Austin III, we got Steronik, we got Roman Wilson, who we don't know the deal. You got you got Scotty Miller. Listen, they ain't holding on to about maybe 6 of them. So it's going to be, man, camp's going to be a fight, boy. You're going to have to play to get a spot on the Steelers wide receiver core. And B, you know the most amazing thing? We was big trash last year. Yeah. And now all of a sudden we got a really good wide receiver room, man. We got a really good room.
Yeah, that's the one thing I like what they did. I don't know if he's going to start over Calvin Austin. I
Mm,
feel like he's going to be more in the Van Jefferson role because one thing is Robert Woods is a really good blocker. And
mm,
we had, our man Van Jefferson was on the roster last year. He did a couple of things in the passing game, but he was out there because he could block. You
mhm,
and he was out there blocking his ass off. I feel like Robert Woods is going to be in that same mold of going out there and blocking.
mm.
Don't get me wrong; he can still get open.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to limit putting Calvin Austin on the football field because of Robert Woods.
Mhm,
That's my thing. I wouldn't want to limit him for that because I feel like Calvin Austin, although he did some good things last year, I
mhm,
still don't think they used him enough. I still
mhm.
don't think they used him enough on where they could. So, and maybe that's going to change now. Hopefully it does. But yeah, I like this signing. I think it's underrated. He's got over 700 career receptions,
Mhm,
nearly 9,000 yards. You know, look, his most productive stretch. It was a few years ago, 2018 to 2020. He's a little long in the tooth. I go,
mhm,
but he's a Super Bowl champion. He's a professional, and that's something that I think we're going to need a little bit of that in our wide receiver room.
mhm,
Older champion professionals, because let's face
mhm,
it, DK a crash out,
mhm,
Pickens a crash out. So I think if nothing else, like Van Jefferson, while he was a champion, he wasn't as accomplished. Robert
mhm,
Woods, I'm not saying talent wise he's as good as those guys, but he's
mhm,
accomplished.
mhm.
So I think him coming in and being in that wide receiver room is going to bring a little bit of maturity that the room needs, Big G.
Yeah, B, this is what I could compare it to, and I can only look at it from my lens and my perspective. I remember in high school, we had a very good high school football team, right? Like my high school team, we contended for state championships, right? And I remember being in a huddle and looking in the huddle, and I was like, man, we got dudes. And that just bred confidence throughout the whole huddle. So we knew every time we went out on the field, we was gonna kill everybody we played. And I
Right.
think that's what the Steelers is trying to do, not just from the wide receiver room, but when they go and they get in that first huddle and they look around at each other, they're like, man, we got dudes, bruh. And Woods is one of them guys you can look and be like, man, that's a dude. I know that he gonna catch the ball. I know he's gonna go across the middle. I know when Jalen Warren, and Caleb Johnson get stretch run plays, I can depend on this dude being on the outside, giving maximum effort, trying to let me break one and get to the house.
Right.
So that's the deal about having those type of players in your huddle. You got to have dudes that when you look them in the eye, you're like, man, I'm ready to go to war. Robert Woods is a dude that's ready to go to war from day one. And so
Correct.
that's why I like him more than anything, bro.
Right. Well, we got people in the chat saying Woods is washed. I'm like, yeah, he's
Mm-mm,
washed from a perspective if you're looking for him to get you 50 to 60 catches a year. The
mm-hmm,
Steelers aren't looking for him to do that.
mm-mm,
Anything where between, I would say, 17 to 28 catches a year. That's
mm-hmm,
all you're looking for. Robert
mm-hmm,
Woods can give you that.
mm-hmm.
He can give you that. And if all he gives you is 15 catches on the year, but he blocks in the run game, wouldn't you take that from him? I
Yeah.
think we would. So it's not about him being washed and like, oh man, we're counting on this guy to get us 900 yards receiving. We're not. We're not
Mm-mm,
counting on him for that.
mm-mm,
We're counting on him making a block in the run game, going down, digging out of safety. We're in 11 personnel. We're trying to run outside zone or a
mm-hmm,
toss. We're looking for him to do that. We're looking on the third down. We're looking for him to get open and make a tough catch over the middle in traffic.
mm-hmm,
Maybe he does that one time a game
mm-hmm.
and he gets a first down one time a game. Okay, fine. It's 17 catches. I'll take it. That's
Yeah.
all we're looking for. We're not looking for anything crazy, man. We're just not. We're just not
Yeah.
looking for anything crazy, Big G.
For him to be in his 33 years old and still be playing, that's telling you he's a professional anyway, because he's
Yeah,
taking care of his body. He wouldn't be in the NFL getting contracts at 33 years old if he wasn't an ultimate professional.
right.
So because there's so many young guys that should get opportunities. So yeah, I'm not concerned at all about Robert Woods. I think, in my personal opinion, I'm calling it now. I think he starts at the slot. I'm not dogging Calvin Austin III, but Calvin, you better come to work. You better bring your lunch pail every dang on practice, because there's a professional in the building that's gonna push you for playing time, and that's
Correct.
where I'm at, bro.
Love this from awareness that they're bringing in vets that could help in the locker room as well.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I think
Culture.
I think that is probably the number one thing, because Robert Woods is a professional. They're
Mm-hmm.
doing that. They're not looking for him and counting on him to go out there and be the guy. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're just not. They're just not. They got too many other weapons that are going to be that. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just need a veteran in the locker room. You just need a
Facts.
guy in there to keep things under control. You just need a guy. And Robert
Mm-hmm.
Woods is that guy. And be frank with you, I'd rather have him than Van Jefferson, because although both of them aren't great anymore, Robert Woods is better than Van Jefferson. So I
Facts.
would take that. And again, other than last year, and maybe he is finished, Robert Woods had been consistent, over his career. That's the
Mm-hmm.
thing, Big G. He had been consistent. So I like the signing for a lot of reasons. Again, but it's not because I'm looking for this guy to get 55 catches, 800 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That's not
Mm-hmm.
what this signing is about. Not in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion.
Right.
But getting back to it, what does this signal? We talked about it. I mean, 6 receivers all battling for playing time, maybe 7. Somebody's going to be out. Somebody,
Yeah.
because I don't think that it's going to be Skoranek. I don't think Skoranek's going anywhere, because he's like a second tight end that you can line up. So when we go to 12 personnel, you can put him out there, and he acts like another tight end on the end line of the scrimmage. So I think he's going to be there. DK and GP are going to be there. Calvin Austin is going to be there. The only thing that I would say is, maybe if Roman Wilson shows he can play, maybe they trade Calvin Austin before the season starts. I don't want that to happen, because, again, the more weapons we have, the better. But if you can trade Calvin Austin, if Roman Wilson shows that he can play, Calvin Austin, I think, is probably the odd man out. But you can get more draft capital before him. That's why I say make draft capital and maybe a special team guy, Big G.
So today I said it's between Scotty Miller and Roman Wilson, because we got an undrafted rookie we're going to talk about too that I think is going to push for a roster spot as well. So if right now, see, when you have multiple guys that fit the same position and play the exact same way, who understands the playbook, who gives maximum effort, who's willing to play on special teams, and who will do the dirty work for you to do what you need to do to make the team. Roman Wilson, I don't know. I don't know. I know Scotty Miller will. I know Skoranek will do it. So I don't know. So that's why I said if I had to choose today, it would be between Scotty Miller and Roman Wilson. But we're going to see it. And this is the thing. Roman Wilson, like I said, I don't know if you watch this or not. But young man, get in that playbook. Go get you one of them AI viewfinders and have somebody load the playbook into the AI viewfinder and learn what you need to do.
Correct.
I mean, that it's if it works for quarterbacks, it can work for wide receivers. Do what you need to do, and then put that and then translate that onto the field. Because we heard it all off season. The reason he never got a helmet is because he didn't know the freaking playbook.
Right.
So we got to get this kid up to speed, because I think he's got great talent, and I truly believe he's 1,000 times better than Scotty Miller. We wouldn't have drafted him in the 3rd round if he wasn't.
Right.
But listen, if you don't know the plays, you're not going to play. Matter of fact, you ain't gonna make the team.
No.
So right now, it's between Scotty and Roman, but we'll see, bro. We'll see.
Yeah, that was disheartening hearing that the Steelers, after he came back from both injuries, that they literally didn't feel comfortable putting him out there on the field. And the only reason that they would say that they didn't feel comfortable with him being out there is that he didn't know what he was doing. And that to me is troubling. But he's got the talent. But again, he's a huge question mark. We can say he has the talent all we want. And we've been Steeler fans, everybody in the chat, all of us have been Steeler fans long enough to know there are plenty of guys that had talent that couldn't make it in the National Football League. That's just, Chase Claypool is another receiver that comes to mind. A ton of talent, Just
B,
couldn't make it in the National Football League. So
you gonna get me
hopefully,
mad, B. You gonna get me mad because you gonna start reminding me of Lima Swede and
uh,
man, bums that we picked, man, in the
uh,
first round. Bums that we
yeah,
picked. Artie Burns that played. Get him out of here. I can't stand none of them bums, man. Get him
yeah.
out.
Yeah,
So yeah, no.
that's ugly. Don't chat. Don't get involved. Don't get it because I know how y'all are. Y'all will start listing all of them. It's just gonna get me and Big G in a bad mood of some of the receivers that just didn't work out. Ugh, just ugly,
Horrible.
ugly, ugly. So
Mm,
anyway, again, appreciate you guys, everybody in the chat, man. If you have not checked out draft grades, that video, make sure you guys go check it out because right now that's what Big G is going to respond to. Big G is going to respond to the grades that we give. Or actually, first, we're going to talk about undrafted free agents, Big G.
yeah.
Undrafted free agents. Let's go there first.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to undrafted free agents and who can make the team. So here's the thing. Sebastian Castro, a safety out of Iowa, 5'11", 203 pounds. I would say he's a special teams guy, but Iowa plays really good defense.
Yeah.
So he could possibly be a piece.
Yeah.
J.J. Galbraith, tight end out of South Dakota, 6'4", 240. Ben Sauls, a kicker. Now, look, this guy's not making the team. I can tell you that right now. Ben Sauls is a camp body, so Boswell doesn't get his leg tired during preseason. So he's not making the team. I can, unless something happens, knock on wood to Boz, this kid's not making the team. And even if it did, the Steelers are going to go sign somebody else. So
yeah, first cut,
yeah.
man, first cut. He's out of there.
Absolutely. Now here's somebody who may have something to say. Rock Taylor, wide receiver out of Memphis. Now he's big, 6'2", over 210 pounds. He's fast. The 50-50 ball, his quote, it's not a 50-50 ball. It's a 100% ball. I got a family to feed. So when the ball's in the air, it's mine. Now, he didn't get drafted because of character. He got a lot of character issues.
Yeah.
And that may be the last thing we need, Big G, in our wide receiver room is another guy with character issues.
Crash out.
Yeah.
He's a crash out, man. But B, this kid can make the squad, dog.
He can.
He can make the squad, man. He can make it, man. He's a poor man's Martavius Bryant.
Correct.
I watched the tape on him. I watched him play. I was like, how in the hell did he not get drafted?
Right.
He's a poor man's Martavius Bryant. So,
correct.
But he got crash out on him, though. He got crash out on him, bro.
Speaking of crash out, I got to go to the chat. Kenneth Miller doesn't agree with me on Ben Sauls. He says he's really good. Mr. Kenneth Miller, I'm just going to remind you that the Pittsburgh Steelers literally have the best kicker in the National Football League.
Yeah.
That's what Chris Boswell is. He's the best kicker in the National Football League. You think the Steelers are going to keep two kickers on the roster? No. I'm telling you right now, he's not making the team. Again, unless something happens to Boz, but even then, they're going to go get somebody else. So I'm sorry, the kid's not making this team. Not making this team. So
yeah, first cut, man. We already know. First cut.
DJ Thomas Jones, tight end out of South Alabama. Aiden Williams, a guard. Now, there's another one that could possibly make the team, Big G. He's out of Minnesota, Duluth, small school, but he's 6'6", 314. And then Keyshawn Williams, receiver out of Indiana, little scat back, 5'9", 188. So of the free agents, undrafted free agents, I should say, who do you think can make the team?
Rock is a dog. So B, we spend like our high holy time is like draft week, man. But we spend maximum effort and time watching film, diagnosing players and all whatever else. So we had a big board and all whatever else. In my opinion, no attitude issue, no off-field problem stuff with this kid from Memphis. Oh, he's a fourth rounder. He's really that good of a talent. So now about the Steelers culture, and what we've done over Tomlin's tenure. We take guys that got issues and bring them in, and they turn into young money. So does this young fella join Young Money? Does the Young Money Part 2? Because we got a bunch of Young Money over there with GP and maybe Roman Wilson, and now bringing in this kid. Do we have a second run at this Young Money thing? Because I'm telling you, if he straightens out, oh, he's a killer. He's a killer. Somebody else in that wide receiver room is either going to the bench or they getting cut. B, they going to the bench or they getting cut. I promise you, because that kid's a killer, straight up
Right.
killer.
So for me, I want Aiden Williams. If Aiden Williams can make the team, if he's good enough athletically, give me, you know me though, I'm biased. Give me the trenches guy. Give me the trenches guy. If he can fill that void, give me him of these undrafted guys. Again, undrafted free agents, the shot, I mean, it's a long shot for them to make the team, but it doesn't mean they can't. Hell, we saw Beanie Bishop last year, and he started at slot corner week 1. He was out there. So it can happen. It can absolutely happen. I don't know that you necessarily want that to happen, but it can absolutely happen. So, but now we are going to, we're going to break down, and Big G's going to grade the draft grades. Again, if you haven't seen that video, make sure you go do that. Also, continue to hit that like button in here for us so we can get as many people in here as possible, people. So, draft grades. I came out with my grades Monday after the draft, and it was a lot of people liked some things, didn't like some things. We'll break it all down for you now. I thought it was a good draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers, by the way. I thought it was a real good draft. So let's break down the picks one by one. Chat, let us know where you do and don't agree. So, 1, obviously the first pick, Derek Harmon, 21st pick in the draft. I gave that one. Well, first off, I thought Derek Harmon, he's exactly what the Steelers needed. You know, all off season, we talked about what he was, what he could do, you know, and what we needed. He's very versatile, just like Cam Hayward. I'm not saying he's going to be the same type of player as Cam, but he can be. He's versatile, can play all 3 positions on the interior line, especially in our 3-4 defense. Super strong at the point of attack, led the FBS and quarterback pressures for interior defensive linemen. He's that guy. Got a little injury bug, you know, a little injury history with the shoulder, but figure that out. I think we've got us one here, ladies and gentlemen. I like this one. I gave this guy an A.
B, I give him a total A. After reevaluating, because listen, it was a coin flip for me. I pushed for Omarion Hampton, who, by the way, went the very next pick, because I knew, I was like, oh my God, you know, this kid is a beast. But when you look at where we got gashed all last year, we didn't have the rotation that we needed to play our style of defense on the defensive line. We had guys out there that should never even been playing in the NFL. There was at some games started because we didn't have those trench guys that we need to stop our division. Listen, Derrick Henry in Baltimore, they know the formula. They gashed us for 299 yards the last time we played. We had to get bigger, stronger, more efficient, run block defensive linemen in the draft. Kenneth Grant went early. The next man up on the board is Derek Harmon. I love the pick, and I'm rooting 155% for him, not just based on what happened with his mother, but I think that this young man has super high character. So I think he's a 10-year starter. I think he's Cam Hayward's replacement for the Pittsburgh Steelers. A, run the A to the table, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like Derek Harmon. So I think he fits what the Steelers need. I like it. Again, he's not perfect. He's got things that he's got to work on, but I gave him an A. Moving on. Didn't have a second-round pick. Third pick, Caleb Johnson. Now, we both crashed out on the day of the draft when they took, you know, Caleb Johnson. I've come around. Look, the 2 comparisons that people are making of Caleb Johnson, I think it's well, let me break it down. He's not Najee. The only comparison to Najee Harris is size. That's it. He is a much better zone scheme runner than Najee Harris could ever dream about being. His vision is better. He's faster, gets in and out of holes better. I think that comparison was lazy. The other comparison is Le'Veon Bell. Now, I'll give you, as far as maybe the patience of a Le'Veon Bell, I'll give you that. But as far as what out of the backfield or in pass protection, he's not even in the same stratosphere as Le'Veon Bell. Because you could line Le'Veon Bell in the slot, and if that's what he played, Le'Veon Bell could give you 70 catches for 800 yards. I go, so Caleb Johnson's not doing that, okay? But he is a good running back. I like what he brings to the table, Big G. He was a welcome addition. I kept saying we needed a big back. He's not a game breaker because he doesn't have that sudden burst, but you get him going a long way, and then nobody's catching him. Now, again, that's few and far between in the National Football League where you're just running straight ahead and running away from people. But he's got a little bit of a burst, a little bit. It's not spectacular. I like the pick. I gave him a B.
I give him a little higher grade. I think I give him between a B plus and an A minus. The reason why is this: we watch film going up to it, but then after we select a player, at least on my end, man, that's when I really start digging. Right. And because I hear what the experts say, and from an analysis standpoint, and I respect them. Don't get me wrong, but I want to see it from my own eyes because I think I know what I'm talking about concerning football as well. You know the comp I keep seeing, man, and B, you're gonna be like, gee, that's too much, too early, it's too much. But I keep watching him, and I keep watching him, and I keep watching him. I keep seeing Shaun Alexander. I remember Shaun Alexander, how he ran, his running style, what he was able to do, and I keep seeing Shaun Alexander. And I'm like, wait a minute. If we have a zone concept running back that has enough burst that can get to the edge by an improved offensive line, we hit a lick. I think this kid, either if it's either this year or next year, rushes between 1,200 and 1,500 yards for the season. It's either this year or next year. I think he does it as long as we have offensive line health. So I think we stole one in the third with Caleb Johnson. And I really do believe he was a top 5 running back in this draft. So I'll take it. I crashed out because I wanted CJ Gibbons, but when I actually started going back and looking at it, I saw Shaun Alexander. So I'm with it. I want B plus A minus for Caleb Johnson, man.
The thing about it is Shaun Alexander was a hell of a running back. I don't know. A lot of people may not remember Shaun Alexander from the Seahawks, but he was a hell of a running back. If Caleb Johnson is that, then the Steelers got one. I can tell you that right now. If he's that, the Steelers got one. Moving on. Now, third pick, in the 4th round. This is the one that Steeler fans have been all over me on. In the Steeler streets, Big G, they have been on me, but I'm not backing down. Backing down. Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State. Look, first of all, Jack Sawyer is a good football player. I never said that he wasn't a good football player. But in the 4th round, the Steelers could have gotten a position of need. They could have gotten not just a depth piece. They could have gotten a position of need at cornerback, a guy that could come in and can contribute and possibly start right now. That's what I'm saying. I think Jack Sawyer is a good football player. Is his pass rush and lack of athleticism going to translate to the National Football League? I don't know. Here's the thing. A lot of Steeler fans that say, hey, he's a replacement for Preston Smith. He's going to give you what Preston Smith gave us. Preston Smith didn't give us no pass rush. He didn't give us a pass rush at all. Now, you could say he was good against the run. Okay, I'll give you that. And Sawyer is going to be really good against the run. Having said all of that, because Herbig is not. We all know that. Herbig is not good against the run. But saying all of that, here's the thing. In the 4th round, do you really want to just draft a depth piece, or did you want to draft a guy that could make a big impact? To me, the Steelers needed to go with the bigger impact. So it's nothing against Jack Sawyer and what he is as a player. I think he's got some limitations. I just didn't like the Steelers' pick of a depth piece because he's going to be the 4th outside linebacker. I didn't like that in the 4th round. I thought you could have done something better. I gave it a C minus. Again, I think he's a good player, but I thought the Steelers could make a bigger impact going in a different position.
Man, Big B, man, man. I had the bias sign waiting on you. I had the big bias sign, man, but I listened to your explanation. And of course, I respect it as a professional. But I still got one thing to say. Let's go Bucks. Let's go Bucks. So let me explain this about Jack Sawyer. And keep in mind, people know I got ties. Well, I had ties. Congratulations to my son-in-law. I had ties to the Ohio State program over the last several years. I saw Jack Sawyer all the way from high school, how they bulked him up at Ohio State University, how he sort of played out of position because he's really a 4-3 speed rush kid that they brought in, and they wanted to turn him into the next Bosa, the next Sam Hubbard. That wasn't Jack Sawyer, right? But he's sneakily more athletic than what a lot of people know. Go look at Jack Sawyer in the biggest games. Look at him when it was time to perform. I seem to recall that he had the game saved for Ohio State against Michigan with
Right.
picking a dude off and dropping in coverage in the end zone out there looking like Debo James Harrison for the Steelers when he went 100 to the house. I saw him do it. And I saw the bend that I knew he had all along when the playoff hit. And on the biggest stage, Jack Sawyer seems to show up the biggest. Now, saying all that, just my belief that they looked at the injury concerns concerning Highsmith, concerning Sawyer, and Herbig's inability to play against the run. And they said, we got to go get a guy that if one of these guys go down, we got to be able to insert him. We have to be able to, he's got to be able to hold the ship. So he's got, and he's professional now. This kid is a professional. And at the pro day, I'm telling you, I know for a fact, I got sources and I've vetted them. Mike Tomlin spent a whole lot of time in the defensive line area during the pro day for Ohio State. And I heard that Tomlin fell in love with Jack Sawyer. So listen, you give him a C minus, I'm giving him about a B minus with the potential with an up arrow that could become a B or maybe even a B plus. I think Sawyer is a 10-year Steeler. I think he gets 2 contracts out of us. I don't think he goes anywhere because I love the character. I love the professionalism, and he's got production. And B, I go. Production over a potential. Give me production. This kid produces. So Jack Sawyer, give me a B. B minus.
I got you. And again, it doesn't have anything to do with Jack Sawyer, the player. Although I think he's got limitations. I do think he has pass rush limitations. I just believe the Steelers should have done better when it came to, they just should have went a different route. Somebody that can, a position of need. I thought they should have went in corner there. That's all. That's all. But again, who thought that Jack Sawyer was even going to be available in the 4th round?
Yeah,
but
facts.
If we're talking about players, there's a lot of players in this draft that went a lot later than what people anticipated. Jack Sawyer was one of those. What's the reasoning behind that? I don't know. But I just thought they could do better. That's all. I think he'll be fine. Again, I never said that he wasn't a good player. People tried to act like I was saying he wasn't good. I didn't say that. I just said the Steelers could have drafted somebody at a position of need that could have helped us more. That's all. Super chat bar man Jimmy K. He said Sawyer's a beast. He looks like a beast. He likes it. Yeah, we'll find out. I hope he is. And I mentioned this. I hope Sawyer proves me wrong. I want him to prove me wrong. I don't mind being wrong because all that means is the Steelers are playing good. That's all that means. The Steelers are playing good.
Yes, sir.
Next pick, Y.A. Black. I was calling him Yaya Black, Steeler fan. No, that's not it, Big B. It's Y.A. So Y.A. Black, nose tackle out of Iowa. And I know he played some other positions, but he's going to play nose for the Steelers. I love it. It's a position of need. He's big. He's got super long arms. He's got a 7-foot wingspan, so he can press blockers, doesn't get moved on the double team, eats double teams. Now, he can get scooped from time to time. He can get reached. However, he's a big man. He's not going to give us a ton as far as the pass rush is concerned. He's going to be more of a 2-down nose guard. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. So on run downs, he'll be out there, getting penetration, pushing people back, but more importantly, eating up blocks and not getting pushed back. I actually gave this pick an A, Big G. I love it. I love it.
An A++. For the 5th round, we get this kid. And listen, all y'all thinking he gonna play DN, I'm telling you he's not. He's 6'5", 6'6". He's 336 freaking pounds. They gonna put about another 5 on him and get him around that 340, bruh. That boy, listen, he's taking a double team every single dang on time in our 3-4 defense. And B, guess what? Go put it on the tape. He don't get moved. He doesn't get moved, man, at all. So you put this kid in the middle. We're us, and listen, I know they say Keanu Benton's our nose tackle. Keanu Benton need to get in his right position. Keanu
Correct.
Benton need to get out there with Cam and with Harmon and play them in spots and let Big Boy handle his business in the middle. And I'm
Correct.
telling you right now, Black is one of these guys that you get so excited about because of what he actually can be for us, which is a nose tackle. And we haven't had one since freaking Casey Hampton walked out the door. So I need this kid to come in, play his full potential, bulk up just a little bit, like I said, maybe about 5 pounds. Listen to the ultimate professional and Cam Hayward and do what you need to do, young man, because you're a perfect fit for the Steelers. 5th round, A, straight up A, maybe A plus, man. Steal of the draft for the Steelers, in my opinion, B.
Yeah. Big Pun put in the chat. Big Pun said his comparison is Ted Washington. If he's Ted Washington, the Steelers got a steal in the 5th round.
Facts.
I don't know if people remember Big Ted Washington. Played for Buffalo, played for New England. He was incredible. He was absolutely. He had some more. I think Ted Washington had a little bit more athleticism early in his career than Black does. But yeah, if Black is anything comparable to Ted Washington, Lord have mercy, did we get a steal in the 5th round? Absolute steal. I love this pick. I absolutely love this pick. So, and you're right, Mark Malone. We only used the nose 20% of the time. But you know what? Okay, maybe we'll use it a little bit more because we were in the nickel a lot. You're still using a nose tackle in the nickel sometimes. Bottom line is we needed a run stuffer. We needed a guy that could do that. Well, he can do that. You know, we addressed the position again in the 5th round. I absolutely love it. People are talking about, another Casey Hampton. Nah, Casey Hampton was short. Casey Hampton wasn't 6'6". Now, the weight is about the same, but Casey Hampton was literally a fire hydrant. You couldn't move him. You just couldn't move him. So I love this pick, though. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, still in the draft. Still in the draft, B.
Yep, absolutely. Next pick is Will Howard, 6th round quarterback out of the Ohio State. However, if you'd have told me that Will Howard would have been around in the 6th round, I never would have thought that was possible. I thought he was a late 3rd, early 4th. But to get him in the 6th round, I think a lot of people are thinking that Will Howard, because they're talking about him coming in and playing right away and, he's the answer. I'm like, Will Howard, his job is not to come in and play this year. You don't want Will Howard to come in and play this year. Have him come in, learn. But to be able to get him in the 6th round, I think is a crazy steal, Big G. I like the pick. I think Will Howard, he's big. He's got a good arm. He doesn't have a cannon, but he's got an arm enough, can make every NFL throw, athletic enough, runs a 4.8 40, so he's not slow at all. I love the pick. I gave it a B+.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to give him an A until I see how he transitions to a professional quarterback. But he's got all the tools. He's got all this body size. He has everything you absolutely need to be a professional NFL quarterback. For all you guys that haven't watched it, go back and watch John Gruden's interview with him and watch how he got down on that whiteboard. So one of the things that showed me was this kid schematically understands what's going on and he can read a defense. And I saw that all year with Ohio State. And B, guess what he played with at Ohio State? Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Buka, Carnell Tate. Guess what he's going to play with at Pittsburgh? DK Metcalf, George Pickens, Robert Woods, Calvin Austin III. The room's starting to look real familiar. So and this kid, and the biggest part about him, he's a leader. He's a leader, man. He's a leader of men. And all he needs to do is just get the confidence and from understanding schematically that the NFL moves a little bit faster. So, but he's got a strong enough arm. He's not scared at all to throw the ball across the middle. I promise you,
Absolutely not.
the ball is going to get pushed in the middle to Mount Washington, Fryermuth, DK, GP. It's going in the middle. He ain't scared to do it.
No.
So, but let's give him a little time. Let's let him mature. But he might be the answer, B. He just might be the answer. I mean, if 12 don't come into the building and Mason goes down and they insert this kid, he might be the answer. He just might be, bro.
Well, he's not going to be scared. That's the one thing. He's not going to be scared. He's going to know what to do. Teams try to trick rookies and all that kind of stuff. He's going to understand what to do. I'm not saying he's never going to make a mistake. I mean, the best quarterbacks make mistakes, but it's just what you said. He's going to throw the ball over the middle of the field. He's not going to care what Mike Tomlin says, what Arthur Smith says. If guys are open over the middle of the field, he's throwing it. He's not going to be like Russell Wilson or Justin Fields who wouldn't trust his eyes. Will Howard's going to throw that football. Now sometimes he's going to put it in harm's way, but he's going to throw that football. Jimmy K likes to pick. Said, love this pick here. Hope he can win the job. I like it too. A lot of people saying that Mason Rudolph is a ceiling. I think it's higher than that. I think it's higher than that. I think his ceiling is higher than Mason Rudolph. Big G, how many signs do you have? Says awareness and accountability. Love those signs, man.
Hell, I got just sitting right here. I got about 10 of them, 11 of them, just sitting right here. So I got a gang of them and I got more on the way. I got a little sign factory here, man. I got a couple of artistes that live in my house and anytime they hear their dad say something crazy on the podcast and all whatever else, the next thing you know, I got a stack of signs. So look for this season coming up with me over here on the big show. I'm going to have all kind of signs, all kind of stuff, just stuff that's on my mind, about words that I want to say, but just need to put emphasis on them, man. So, I got a gang of them, bro.
Well, another thing about Will Howard, Big G, is he got better in big games. He got better. I mean, I saw him, obviously, because I followed Kansas State, 4 years at Kansas State, won a Big 12 title, 2022. Big game, played outstanding. Goes to Ohio State, loses to Michigan, loses to Oregon. Okay, had the flub up at the end of that game. But he actually played pretty decent.
Facts.
And, played pretty decent in that game. The Michigan game, he did not. The Michigan game, he didn't play well. Comes back, and when everything's on the line in the college football playoff, it looked like Big G, he got better each and every week that they played. He kept getting better and better and better and better. Leading them to the national championship. I just love this pick, and the value there is insane for the 6th round to be able to get a Will Howard then. So love the pick, man. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Production over potential. Give me production.
Yes.
Give me production all day and night. Production. Chips. I like chips, B. I like chips.
Absolutely.
Championships. Give me Chips Ahoy cookies. Chips. Let's roll with it. Give me a B+ and let's go.
Absolutely. Love that pick of Will Howard, man. I think he's got a future. And he wanted to be a Steeler. That's the thing. If y'all saw any of that the post before they picked him, he was begging for the Steelers to pick him. So love that he wanted to be a Steeler, even though he's from around the Pittsburgh or the Philadelphia area.
Facts.
7th round pick, first pick, Carson Bruner. Okay. Look, Mike, this is a Mike Tomlin special. First of all, his dad is a scout who is a former Steeler, is a scout for the Steelers. Look, he's a tackler. I'll give him credit, man. The guy, he's not huge, but middle linebackers these days, a lot of them aren't gigantic anymore, but he's still on the smaller side when it comes to that. But he is an absolute tackler. Big football IQ, understands how to play, understands angles, and can diagnose plays really quickly, which helps make up for his lack of athleticism because he knows where things are going and he can get there because he's diagnosed what's going on. Because, again, he's a lack of athleticism. But he can't cover. Not good at that at all. But I think he could be a special teams ace, an actual special teams ace. I took this as a Danny Smith pick, but I gave this one a C.
Yeah, I would have gave him a little bit higher, and this is the reason why. Cole Holcomb was a special team player from Miami before he got hurt, and then look what happened. So I got his ceiling as Cole Holcomb. His basement is Robert Spillane. Well, look what Robert Spillane doing right. Look what he did for the Steelers. Look what he's doing for the Raiders right now.
I don't think he's
Robert
that
Spillane,
good, Big G.
but he's a professional.
No, I
He's a
don't think he's
professional.
as good. No. I'm saying I don't think he's as good as Spillane. I think
I don't know,
Spillane is
bro.
I think Spillane is really underrated. Because I can
Well,
tell you this: if the Steelers had Spillane on the team right now, they would absolutely take him. Absolutely.
Oh.
So that's my thing. I think Spillane. I missed when he left. He was good. I don't think Bruner has that kind of floor. I don't think he's as good. I think Spillane's really underrated.
Man, I think so, bro. I mean, Spillane wasn't a highly drafted player. Cole Holcomb wasn't either. You know, and neither one of them was. They developed. So you get this kid in the room and you're developing. Now, I'm not saying he's going to come in and instantaneously make the 4-man rotation of the inside linebackers. I mean, you got Peyton Wilson, you got Patrick Queen, you got Mark Robinson, you got Cole Holcomb. There's your 4. But if something was to happen, I wouldn't be mad at putting this kid in there as a rookie, but definitely giving him an opportunity to do what he needs to do on special teams. Because one thing he can do, he's gonna crack you, bro. He's gonna flat out crack you. Yeah. So I'd have gave him a little bit higher. Maybe I'm being biased, and he's got the pedigree, B. He's got the pedigree. His daddy played in the league.
He did.
He got the pedigree, man. There's something saying about that now.
Steeler pedigree too.
Yeah. So, yeah, I gave him a little bit higher, man. I think he's going to make the 53. In my opinion, I think he's going to make the 53.
It'll be him or Robinson. Both of them won't. So you're right. I think he's got an opportunity because I think he's going to be a dynamite special teams player. And hell, you need those guys on your football team. You need guys that, hey, if they're out there on your defense, you're in trouble. But if they're playing special teams, your special teams is a hell of a lot better. So, yeah,
that's facts.
I don't put it past him making the team as a special teams guy. I mean, look at Dirty Red. Dirty Red wasn't seeing the field, and if he ever saw the field, it was a problem. But on special teams, he was hell. So
a killer.
I can live with that.
I
can live with that.
Yep, yes, sir.
Then last pick, Dante Kent, cornerback. I thought we would take cornerback a lot earlier than what we did. Yeah. I thought it was one of those where we waited and we waited and we waited, but I think it's super valuable here. Here's another kid that's going to be on special teams, but also Big G, I think he's going to fight for that spot. Him and Beanie Bishop, it's going to be a battle because this kid plays slot corner. He can play outside, but I think his thing is playing nickel corner. I think him and Beanie Bishop are going to have a battle because Eccles is there, and I think he's going to be the starter. But we're going to find out. So I like this kid to battle, and he, as far as coverage, he might be better than Beanie Bishop. We'll see. It's going to be a battle, but I like the pick. I gave it a B.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just going to be honest. If he was 6 foot tall, he would have been a minimum 3rd round draft pick. All you got to do is go watch the film. The film shows you he's a ball hawk, and you talking about another dude that'll come up and crack you. Go back and look at the film in Central Michigan. He was knocking heads, bro. He was hitting dudes.
Correct.
So he's not scared to come downhill against the run. He's not scared to do none of that stuff that you need a corner. Corners need to be aggressive. And I'm gonna tell you why corners aren't aggressive, because they don't trust their eyes.
Right.
This kid trusts his eyes. He's ultra aggressive. So I think once he's acclimated to the NFL style of football, because all rookies got a learning curve because the game gets faster. So once it slows down for him, he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight for that nickel corner. And I wouldn't be shocked if this kid makes the listen. It's gonna be hard. And this is what I'm so excited about, B. It's going to be hard to make the 53-man roster for the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's going to be dudes that's going to get cut, and we're going to be like, man, what the heck? But we're going to understand why, because the talent of the 53-man roster has finally improved enough to where good players get cut. When you start getting good players cut, that means your team has improved. So that's what I'm excited about, because this kid could be a 7th rounder to make the team because the improvement of the roster for the Pittsburgh Steelers, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I like I said, it's going to be tough to make the team. I think it's going to be a battle, but he's going to be in the mix. He is absolutely going to be in the mix. So I appreciate it. What's going on, Robert? Thanks for joining the chat. But yeah, I like this pick. I like the Steelers. What they did overall with this draft. I loved what the Steelers did. They didn't reach for anybody, Big G. The only
Yeah.
person that they didn't even reach for Jack Sawyer. And that's the one pick that I don't necessarily like. And again, it's not because of him being a football player. I didn't necessarily like it because I thought the Steelers could go a different route and draft somebody that could impact. I thought that's where they should have taken a corner. I'll just be frank. But even then, they didn't reach for anybody. You know, they didn't get sucked into going up and drafting somebody that maybe wasn't it was valued a little bit too high. They didn't do that. They stuck to I think what they did was best player available, and that's where they stuck. It's like, hey, based on what we need, this is the best player available. We're taking this guy here. Next round, best player available. We're taking this guy here. I think that's what the Steelers did. They added where they needed to add. Overall, I loved it. Like I said, I gave this overall draft a B+. I thought the Steelers did really, really good in this draft.
I give them I would say A-. That's just because I give Sawyer a higher grade. But B, when do you ever go wrong when you draft the BPA? When do you can't lose drafting like that? Because what you're doing is you're stockpiling positions of need to put yourself in position to win. BPA always wins for you on the curve. It always wins for you. So BPA, I'm with it. And guess what? We're getting close. We're getting close to where you can insert the quarterback.
Correct.
We're getting close. Listen, I'm tired of talking about Kevin Colbert. Tired of talking about him. But the truth of the matter is, his last few years, he killed us. Omar Khan, Waddle, yeah, bro. Y'all done handle y'all business the last 3 seasons. So the only thing I'm worried about is Jones. If Jones pans out, the last drafts they done hit, they done put us in position, insert the quarterback. They done put us in that position, and that's why I like the draft, because we're even though we got even guys that are longer in the tooth, you can put in a guy behind them that's a rookie that can play.
Correct.
I'm super excited, man. I'm ready. I promise you I wish the season started today. I promise you I do.
Yeah. That's what this is. This is the season. I'm real excited because now we can actually start talking some football. How people, fit into what we're doing, this and that. I love this time of the year. Draft is over. Speculation and all that kind of stuff is over. Now we can start getting to the nitty-gritty. Get to OTAs, get into mini camp, talk about guys actually how they fit, what they look like, what the Steelers can do with them. I love all of that. As far as favorite overall pick of the draft, for me, Big G, it's Derek Harmon, the first pick. I just think with his versatility and the need that the Steelers had to get younger, more athletic up front on the defensive line, I think he's exactly what we needed. He was my favorite pick of the draft.
I changed, man. I said black. I said black over and over again, black. But man, I started sitting down on that film with Johnson, man. And I'm like, oh yeah, we got one. We stole one. And I'm telling you, B, you're gonna hear me say it when it happened. I'm be like, B, didn't I tell you that's Sean Alexander? Didn't I tell you that's Sean Alexander? I'm telling you that we stole one. So my dude is Johnson, man. Johnson's a beast. Johnson is a freaking beast, man. And I'm so excited. Him and Warren now on them stretch run plays, instead of getting 2 and 3, we might get to the house. We might get to the house. So let's go. Let's freaking go, man.
Yeah. And my least favorite pick, look, again, has nothing to do with it. Just where he got picked in the need is Sawyer. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's a good football player. I just thought the Steelers could take a corner there. That's all. I think he's going to be fine. He's a depth piece. I get it. And kind of what you mentioned, Big G, BPA pick. Totally understand it. I get it. I just thought we could go corner. But other than that, I thought the Steelers had a good draft. So
7th round pick. I'm being biased. I wanted Kobe Bryant out of Kansas. I even looked at Seth McLaughlin inside or center guard for Ohio State University, because I'm like, hey, you got his quarterback. You might as well get a center to back up Zach Frazier. Yeah. But that's my least favorite. But all the rest of them, man, I think we did well, man.
Thing about Kobe Bryant, I mean, character issues.
Facts.
So you're talking about he fell in the draft, and you get to the 7th round. Do you want to bring in a guy that's got good character or bad character with the 7th round pick? And I think that's why, because Kobe Bryant's got some talent. He absolutely does. But knucklehead, Not going to do that so much. So I
Yeah,
totally get it, man. Well,
absolutely.
now we have come, Big G, to the producer question. That
Every week.
old craziness that the show we have. For people that are new to the show, every week our producer comes on with a question that we haven't seen. It's usually wild, out of this world. He comes on with a question that we have to answer. So it's usually a tough one, puts us in a bind. But we got the producer question coming up.
Yeah.
So he's going to put that one out there. Here we go. You can insert one of these draft classes into the 2025 Steelers. What year gets in and helps the Steelers the most? A, is it 2004 when you had Big Ben and you had Max Starks?
Oh.
B, 2007, you had Lawrence Timmons, Lamar Woodley, and William Gay. C, 2010, Marquise Pouncey, Emmanuel Sanders, and Antonio Brown.
Oh.
Or D, keep 2023, Broderick, Joey Porter Jr., Keanu Benton, Darnell Washington, Nick Herbig.
Oh. This is a hard question, B. Because I'm impartial to Big Ben.
Right.
But Pouncey,
I think,
Emmanuel Sanders, and Antonio Brown.
Yeah, it's C.
Ooh.
It's two Hall of Famers. It's two
Man.
Hall of Famers.
Man, run it.
Yeah.
Run it, man. Run it. Run C. Run it. Run C. Now, like I said, and listen, D ain't bad neither.
No, it ain't.
D ain't bad neither now. So, but man, that's C, man. Boy, that's hitting.
Hold on.
That
Before
is
we go any further, we got a big super chat from our man Alonzo Dunn. He's missed the last couple shows. He throws in a big super chat, man. We miss you too. We miss you too, Mr. Dunn. Thank you for dropping in and supporting the channel the way that you do, man. I know you got stuff going on. We get it. We absolutely get it. So hopefully you can come and join us the next show. Either way, we appreciate you and thank you for stopping by and supporting the channel, man. Thank you very, very, very much. And more importantly, the chat misses you too, Mr. Dunn.
Yeah.
The chat loves you. So when you could come back, make sure you get in. But I think this one is C, Big G. I love Big Ben, and I love the quarterback. But come on, man. We get two Hall of Famers are in 2010 because Pouncey's going to get in. Now, Antonio Brown, you don't know because of the craziness, how his career ended. But I think he has to get in if you just look at what he did on the football field. So for me, it's C. I take that all day.
B, could you imagine if we could bring in Pouncey? We could put him at guard or center. You could flip him or Zach Frazier. And then put AB in the slot with DK and GP.
Ugh.
And if GP crashes out, you bring in Emmanuel Sanders. That's a chip.
Yeah.
That's a chip. That's a chip, man. So yeah, you got to go with C, dog. You got to go with C.
Yeah,
got to go with C.
Absolutely. I love Big Ben. And look, I like B, but the way that the NFL is played right now and the rules, I'm sorry, Woodley and Timmons, I mean, they played physical brand of football. Lamar Woodley is going to get a penalty every other game, but hitting a quarterback. Not that he did anything dirty, but they don't let you breathe on quarterbacks now. And William Gay was a physical corner. They don't let you touch receivers now. I love those guys. But the way that the game is played right now, defense, man, it takes a back seat. It takes a back seat. Give me C. Emmanuel Sanders, Antonio Brown, and Pouncey. Give me that. Give me that.
Yeah. The chat talking about, well, you ain't got no quarterback. I promise you, Mason Rudolph could get a chip with that team. Absolutely. I promise you. If you you put Pouncey in there on that line, that stabilizes everything. And then you got AB in the slot. Chips Ahoy cookies, man. Run it. Run it, chips, man. Come on, stop it.
Yeah. I mean, even at that, let's just say Pouncey, because remember, Pouncey played guard in college. He didn't even play center in college. His brother played center. So you put Pouncey at guard, you still got Frazier out there. So you put Pouncey at right guard with Siamalu. Come on, man. Look, it's Siamalu at left. I just, come on. It's C. It's got to be C. It's got to be C.
Yeah. So, facts, bro.
It's got to be C. Well, man, look, I appreciate everybody being in here and supporting the channel, man. It is finally the time, everybody, that we can start talking some football. We don't have to deal with speculation and rumors. I know there's still one big rumor out there, but I told y'all I'm not talking about it, not bringing up his name until he actually signs with the Steelers. So for
12.
now, we got our football team. You know, I like what we have. Is it the best football team on paper? No, it's not. But I like what we have. I like what we can do. I like this draft. This draft was it was a good draft. It was a good draft. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, don't crash out like Mel Kiper talking about we should have taken somebody. Hey, man, we took who we needed to take. We didn't reach for anybody. We added where we needed to add. We got depth. We positions of need. We got great value at several picks. Basically, you could say we got great value on every single pick that we had in the first 6 rounds. I think the Steelers got great value. So I don't know. I love the Big G. I appreciate it, man. Tell everybody where they can find you, Big G.
Man, absolutely, man. You can always find me every Tuesday over here on the Big Show with Big B, man. This home base. But I do other podcasts and other stuff because I be in the Steelers streets, man. So tomorrow night, man, I'm on the KnoItAllz Podcast, which is also home base for me, starting at 7 o'clock with my boy Curb and my boy Tate Boy Fresh. And we're going to smash the gas. We're going to do a little draft recap, but we're going to talk about what impact does this draft have on 12 coming into the building for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Starts about 7:15. 8 o'clock, I'm going to jump right over to the Pump Your Brakes podcast with the Triple OG, Shannon White, and my boy Tate Boy Fresh on Steel Curtain Network. Fridays, I'm on the Homies and Homies Overtime. We talk AFC North with all other sports stuff. And then Sundays, I'm back on the KnoItAllz Podcast live at 6 p.m. with my boy Mod and my boy Tate Boy Fresh. So I'll be in the streets talking that Steeler mess, but man, I'm really going to be talking now, B. So all the people that's in the chat, if you haven't subscribed to the KnoItAllz, check it out. One of my chat fam that's in the chat, put it out there, put the name out there, the KnoItAllz Podcast, man. And I look forward to maybe seeing you guys tomorrow night and or Sunday, man.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you, Big G. Again, everybody, you want to become a member of Steelers Almighty, you noticed in here, the members got chat privileges. They got all their comments, most of their comments up on the screen. That's one of the benefits. You also get the all 22 if you're at the 4th level or higher. We are doing the all 22 entire game films that we're breaking down now. It's crazy, some of the stuff that I'm going back and watching now. So you guys want to become a members and help support the channel that way, make sure you sign up for membership. There's a link that is in the chat now, but you can also go to the front page and hit join there. Look, love you guys, man. Thank you guys. Another good show. I'm ready to start talking football, people. I am ready. Absolutely ready. Love you guys. Love Steelers family. Thank you guys for showing up. We'll see you next time. Aloha.